Hello and welcome to this week's weekly press conference. Today, we will focus on just one topic, but it's a very important one. The topic is the city's recent perfect score on the 2022 Municipal Equality Index, which is known as MEI for short. Each year, the Human Rights Campaign, a national advocacy group for LGBTQ plus rights, scores over 500 cities on how inclusive laws, policies, and services for LGBTQ plus people who live and work in their cities. The rankings are based on the evaluation of 5 areas. First, non-discrimination laws. Second, the municipality as an employer. Third, municipal services. Fourth, law enforcement. And fifth, leadership on LGBTQ plus equality. I'm happy to announce that Erie scored a perfect 100 out of 100 on the 2022 Municipal Equality Index. We weren't always perfect. Back in May of 2018, when I was in office for about 4 months, we received a score of 34 out of 100. My team and I were shocked by this very low score. Immediately, we took action to increase our score. We designated staff and police liaisons. We created an LGBTQ plus advisory council, and we set a goal for the team to work together to achieve a perfect score of 100 points. I'm thrilled that through the LGBTQ Council's leadership, we've reached that perfect score in less than 5 years. The Advisory Council and the City of Erie staff used the Municipal Equality Index as a starting point to guide our efforts to celebrate our diversity. The team set to work on identifying critical areas in which we could make progress on ensuring that our LGBTQ plus residents feel safe, welcome, valued, and included. Starting in 2018, with each passing year, the city's score increased as we took many actions. We passed a conversion therapy ban. We appointed a police liaison and a mayoral liaison. We adopted a non-discrimination in city employment policy. We added transgender inclusive health care benefits. We adopted a city contractor non-discrimination policy. We drafted a youth bullying prevention policy for the Police Athletic League and all youth summer recreation programs. We ensured appropriate FBI hate crime reporting. And we demonstrated the city's leadership's public position and policy efforts on LGBTQ plus equality. I want to express my sincere thanks and appreciation, and thanks to the volunteer advisory council members for their hard work and leadership throughout this process. Now I'm going to ask each of the council members who's here with me on stage to stand as I welcome them. Today, from the council, we have Alex Spoon, President. Yeah, Alex, you want to stand up? Thank you. He's president of the NWPA, Northwest PA, Pride Alliance, and the council secretary. Tammy Johnson, the director of prevention and outreach services at SafeNet Erie and a council member, as well as a liaison to the City of Erie's Strengthening Police and Community Partnership Council. And Michael Mailer, editor of Erie Gay News and facilitator of the LGBTQ plus Council. Now I'll ask each of you to please sit down, except for Michael. Michael, could you start us off by telling us more about Municipal Equality Index and why this ranking is so important? Thanks, Michael.
First off, I would like to thank you, Mayor, and the City of Erie for your dedication to making our community as more diverse, equitable, and inclusive. The Municipal Equality Index is a roadmap to creating a safer city for the queer community. High scores are sought out by people looking to move to the city. Companies interested in investing in local communities also check these scores. With our perfect score, we join the likes of Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and we are recognized by the HRC as a safe space for the queer community. In fact, I fielded a phone call just this past weekend from a woman in Arizona who had worked in investment banking and higher education and who was looking to move to Erie. Being able to tell her that Erie has a mayor's advisory LGBTQ plus council and that we have a perfect 100 MEI score shows why this is so important.
You're absolutely right. This is important. And your context is important too, Michael. Thanks very much. We really appreciate it. And I hope that woman you mentioned does move here, because I look forward to meeting her as well. Next, Tammy, would you briefly explain a few of the things we did to achieve this perfect score? Thanks, Tammy.
Yes, Mayor, I will. Thank you very much. I'd be happy to detail our plan. And Erie City Council in June 2019 passed a bill on conversion therapy in the city. This ban will stop young people from being targeted with harmful therapy that attempts to change their sexual orientation or gender identity. Not only is this conversion therapy ineffective, but evidence has shown it to be linked with traumatic, negative outcomes, including increased risks of suicide and self-harm. Also, Erie County Council unanimously passed similar legislation on February 5th, 2020. Another big piece of our score was the involvement of the strengthening police and community partnerships. As a liaison to both the SPCP and the LGBTQIA+ community, I work with the Erie School District and the Department of Justice to expand the Spirit Council, which is a DOJ programming initiative which launched in the City of Erie high schools and will soon launch and be through the middle schools in the city, where students learn leadership. The Spirit Council, which stands for Student Problem Identification and Resolution on Issues Together, teaches leadership skills and creates a more peaceful and equitable learning space for students. The City of Erie is in the process of hiring a coordinator of diversity, equity, and inclusion. The council is proud that we are part of that conversation to offer an LGBTQ community viewpoint. I did forget. We help the City of Erie stay informed about important events, initiatives, and available resources. Would help to get the word out to people who are not in touch with the community before. The City of Erie and the Advisory Council has worked to make sure that local boards and commissions run by the City of Erie include LGBTQ representation. Now.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, Tammy, that was quite a list. Very impressive. I'm especially proud of the LGBTQ+ Council and the Strengthening Police Community Partnerships Program. My goal is that everyone in Erie is accepted for their unique talents and skills. All of us in Erie should advance together. Alex, would you wrap up our presentation by detailing what's ahead for the LGBTQ+ Advisory Council and what you think are our next steps to keeping Erie inclusive and welcoming to the LGBTQ+ community? Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Here's what's next. We're most excited to be partnering with the City of Erie for the Love Your Block initiative, which helps neighborhoods connect with each other and with resources. Several advisory councils have already voiced interest in volunteering with the neighborhood projects aimed at eliminating blight. We're also drafting a long-term care patient bill of rights that would protect queer and HIV-positive individuals. This is a partnership with the SAGE USA, which is a national LGBTQ+ senior advisory organization. Pennsylvania does not currently have legislation at the state level for that. Municipalities including Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are examining legislation that was passed in California at the state level in municipalities such as Montgomery County and New Jersey, or Montgomery County, New Jersey. Mayor, I'd like to finish by reminding everyone that our work is far from over. In states across the country, the queer community, especially the transgender and drag performers, are being targeted by politicians to create fear. Queer-themed books are being banned not even an hour away from Erie in Penncrest School District in Crawford County. Queer suicide rates continue to climb. The 2022 National Survey on Queer Youth Mental Health conducted by the Center of Disease Control found that 45% of queer youth have considered suicide just in the past year. This percentage is even higher at 59% when you look at just Black, transgender, and non-binary youth. So thank you, Mayor Schember, for your support as we continue to move forward. Lastly, I would like to ask all of our LGBTQ plus allies to join the NWPA queer community on Friday, March 31st at 6 p.m. at Perry Square for Transgender Day of Visibility. This event will be hosted by Trans Family of NWPA. This is a day to celebrate transgender and non-binary people around the globe and acknowledge the courage it takes to live openly and authentically. Also, I would ask that you join my organization, NWPA Pride, on June 24th for Erie Pride Parade and Pride Fest, which will start at the Zone at 18th Street and State, and then we'll march down to Perry Square for hours of festivities. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Alex, and that sounds like a really great plan. The city remains committed to our LGBTQ plus community. We want to create safe, welcoming, and vibrant neighborhoods for everyone. And we also want to increase diversity across all city departments, as well as with our appointments to authorities, boards, and commissions. I look forward to seeing the LGBTQ plus Council's ideas in action. My team and I will work with you to make that happen. We are also very excited about expanding the Love Your Block initiative and look forward to working with you on that as well. I will be there with you in June to march in the Pride Parade. Thanks to all of you for being here, and thank you all, and the rest of your team as well, for all the service, for your passion, and for your commitment to Erie. That concludes today's press conference. Please continue to follow us on social media for the latest updates on everything happening here in the city of Erie. Everyone who spoke is now available for interviews, and thanks very much for watching.